Hello, everybody. I am live, YouTube live, instead of the normal Facebook live. So every week, I wait a few minutes for folks to kind of jump on before I go into my. I do like the fact that YouTube does a bit of a better job recording than Facebook, and it's searchable forever. It doesn't have the best at that. It kind of gets lost in the feed. But anyway, yeah, just waiting for some folks to jump online right now. You guys can still type in the chat box. Unfortunately, you won't be able to join me like you can on Facebook. Facebook, you can call in and you can be side by side with me, but it doesn't work on YouTube. So I will keep using, in case you guys are watching recorded version of this, the things I'm going to be talking about are 19.5 getting announced tonight, and 19.6 details. Our leaderboard from inside the gym. Going to announce some bingo prize winners. Programming for next week into actually really the next 3 weeks, and where we're going after that. I'll talk a little bit about the importance of some objective measurement, why we do testing. And then I'm answering questions that have been submitted by different listeners. So anyway, I'm going to try to send this link over to the community. So give me 1 second here. I think there's a share button. Here it is. Boom. I threw out the share to the Facebook group, so where it normally happens, the AMA normally happens. So hopefully we'll get a few more folks jumping online with us. But either way, I'm going to jump right in about 1 minute here. So yeah. I don't have any dad jokes today. I know that I normally start with dad jokes. I'm all fresh out of dad jokes. Funny because I actually am a dad now and have been for a month. So I just pasted the link also on my main Facebook page too. So I don't know how to put links on Instagram. I'm not that advanced yet. So anyway, I'm going to dive in, and I will end up, if you guys aren't catching this live or you are and you missed something, I am going to paste this video back in our Facebook group. So, all right, let's dive in. 19.5, it gets announced tonight. Some of our gym members are finishing their first open ever. Some of them have been doing the open since 2011. And some of them couldn't care less. We got kind of everything in between. Gavin and Kim, if they do well, they could qualify to go on to the Masters online qualifier. So, but they're going to have to really step it up for their performance in 19.5. I'm expecting thrusters. I don't know what you guys think. 19.6 is unique this year, as it is every year. It will be announced immediately after 19.5 at our gym. If you guys happen to come during the day, you come in the morning or the noon class, you can still do 19.5. You can come later and do 19.6. As soon as we know what the workout actually is and we figure out heats and timing and stuff, we can give you a better estimate of when 19.6 will begin. It's not going to take too long. Everybody's involved. You can bring your kids. They can participate. We're going to try to keep the whole thing to 20 to 30 minutes so you're not there all night. And I know most of you guys like to go and get beers and stuff afterwards, and that's cool too. You can still do that. But we're going to try to keep 19.6 on the shorter end to get you guys out of there from Friday Night Lights. But it's the last Friday Night Lights of 2019. So hope to see you there. If you're not a member and you're watching this YouTube, why don't you come and join us? If you're a CrossFitter, you're welcome to jump in on the workout. If not, you can just hang out and eat some of the food that various people bring. or, just meet some cool people. So I wanted to jump into the 19.4 leaderboard right now, just from last week. And guys that are joining us on the live feed or aren't members of our gym, after I get through a couple of these things that are gym specific, I am going to talk about some things that applies to everybody. So it won't be a total waste of your time. Anyway, for 19.4, Team TBSN, Thick Butts and Sweaty Nuts, they got the Guess the WOD point. They almost guessed it exactly, which was pretty impressive. For Event 4 finishers, TBSN wins 73-43. This week we took RX. We haven't done RX yet in the open for the top 3 in male and female. Also TBSN 15-3. The Spirit points actually went to Snatch Squatch. And the total for the week, 91-51 TBSN. They have a commanding lead in the grand total, but 19.5 is still there, and 19.6 is going to be heavily, heavily weighted. So it's still going to give them an opportunity to possibly come back. So anyway, moving on. We did a bingo challenge during the month of February, and we gave points out for getting any bingo any which way, and also a lot of points for bingo blackouts. In addition, some of our health collaborative partners threw in some little promotions. And so I wanted to announce the winners of that. Barb Dawson, you won a free hydrostatic body fat test from Roseanne. Kim Stallcup, you win $10 off massage from Jeanette at Joyful Spirit. And Gavin, you win 10% off of physical therapy session with Tyler, and his company's called Body for Life Physical Therapy. So get needled, do what you got to do. Hopefully, hopefully you do really well in this last workout, and we can get you healthy for the online qualifier. We will see. But all 3 of you guys, just shoot me an email, and I'll tell you how to claim your prize. Jumping right into programming for next week. After the open, we need to take a bit of a down week, so it will be a lot lower intensity. It's not going to feel like the open at all. We will do a little bit of lifting, a lot of mobility. For the 2 weeks following that, we're going to jump into our level method testing. It's round 2 of level method testing. The last one we did was back in October. Really cool way to find out exactly where you lie in our 15 category assessment. I think you can see behind me, there's a mini map back there at our gym. This is 4 feet by 8 feet. So if you guys haven't tested yet, this is a great opportunity to do so. Like I said, 15 different categories. You also get a score in plumbing, ventilation, and electricity. It also gives you an objective strength ratio and strength body weight ratio. We use all of those things for your goal setting sessions, which are going to happen after level method testing. If you guys can get in with Roseanne to get a hydrostatic body fat test, I would love to see both of those things for the goal setting session. So after the level method comes through, I get all this data, right? And the level method testing gives me this gym avatar. So I get to see the aggregate of every athlete in the gym of all the different categories. So last time we did this, we were weak in rings and upper and lower body endurance. That has since come up a little bit. So everybody's going to test a little higher there. So to figure out where we're going for the next programming cycle, I'm using that information directly for our levels-based programming in the gym. So if it comes out that we are weak at deadlift, we're going to do some deadlifts or things that make us better at deadlift, for example. So we're also going to add some hypertrophy finishers. If you guys don't know what that means, it's like your Arnold type stuff. So 5 to 10 minutes at the end of a session, we're just going to get a pump on. We're getting ready for bikini season, and it's fun to do that stuff. It also adds an element of injury prevention and safety just for your joint health. And we've been doing some crazy workouts in the open. So now it's kind of time to dial back in and build up our strength in those areas. And we can do that in 5 to 10 minutes after our functional fitness training. So those are going to be a lot of fun. You guys can bring your neon, you can bring your headbands, stuff like that. That's going to happen no matter what the gym avatar says. So even if the gym avatar says we suck at running and we're doing more running workouts in embedded in the group program, we're still going to do some of those finishers at the end. They're fun. Just enjoy them. So I want to talk a little bit more about objective measuring tools. Okay. At our gym, we have a level method assessment. We have a hydrostatic body fat test. We have a whole range of testing from Tyler on the physical therapy side. And at your house, you have a scale or a measuring tape. All these are just objective measuring tools. Okay. We used to have a thing called a goniometer where it measures your joint flexibility. I used to get pretty geeky with people with that. I don't do that anymore. FMS testing, these are all objective measuring tools. Okay. So we want to use these to just give you a snapshot for where you're at. Okay. It helps me in my goal setting session know here's where we are now. Here's the weaknesses that we can work on, plus where you want to go from here. And how am I going to prescribe what for you to do after the goal setting session? So if you're really, really weak at running, I can give you 3 running workouts a week to do in addition to what you're already doing. If you want to lose body fat, I'm going to say, hey, we need to do these types of workouts and combine it with a really, really good nutrition program. Objective measuring is just that. Okay. So if you jump on the scale, and I made this big 12-minute video to all my coaches yesterday about objective measuring tools. And I said something along the lines of, if you jump on the scale and it says the number that you don't want to see, you don't get mad at the scale, right? You don't throw it out the window and say it's the scale's fault that you're overweight, right? The scale just tells you, hey, I got to make some changes. So the level method testing is exactly the same thing. You can't get mad at the test because you're weak, or you can't get mad at the test because you're not flexible, right? Those are things or areas for you to work on, and us coaches can help you work on those things, okay? Now, a lot of you guys don't want to do individual design programs, okay? I believe in individual design programs, and if it were up to me, I'd have everybody on earth doing their own individual design program. Why does that not work? Because it takes a lot of time on the coach's part to design these programs, which costs money, right? Somebody's time like that costs a lot of money. So to make, to kind of meet in the middle with a group program, you get to hang out with your friends and sort of have it be an individually designed program, is this levels-based programming that we have in our gym. So when you have a levels consideration of running and you are yellow and running, you do the yellow track for that day, right? So that's the closest thing that we can get to individualization throughout the gym. It essentially eliminates the need for scaling because you're doing the right workout for you based on your level method test. So you can see why there's so many reasons to do the test. Even if you don't like doing the kettlebell test, it's going to make your butt sore. This is good information for me and you and for our entire gym community, because there's so many things that go into the data that we pull from this test. Okay. So anyway, that's why we test, and objective measuring tools are just that. Okay. Some more questions that I had come across the desk. Are there preacher curls in the future? We will be doing curls in some of these finishers that I'm talking about, but not preacher curls. Preacher curls are using a preacher bench. We have used the GHDs for this in the past, but preacher benches kind of take up a lot of space and they're not necessarily the most functional. You know, if I was going to choose a piece of equipment to get right now, probably get some more assault bikes. Are we going to get a pec deck? We actually kind of already have one. We do have a Freedom Trainer at our gym, which is just a cable machine where you can get any angle with the cables. I've actually set up the cable machine like a pec deck. If you put your hands through the straps and put your arms like this, you can actually set this thing up just like the pec deck. So we actually kind of already have that. So feel free to use it, guys. The question is, do I have to test the level method? So the short answer is yes. The long answer is kind of what I already covered. Like, it's not just about you, it's about the whole gym. If you don't want to test level method and you'd rather do an individually designed program, that's totally fine. We'll still have some semblance of testing depending on what you want to do. But let's do the goal setting session before or during while the rest of the gym is doing level method testing. I'm 1 month. This is the next question. I'm 1 month postpartum. When can I start training again, and what can I do? Okay, this is probably obvious who this came from, guys. Our twins today are 1 month old. So Katie sent this question over because she's like raring to go. And I wanted to answer this broadly because I have now trained so many different women who during pregnancy, through pregnancy, I mean, and postpartum now. So let me sort of answer this broadly first, and then I'll kind of specifically dial it in for Katie. Okay. So the last two women that have gone through, or last three women have had totally different experiences. We've had Chavi, we've had Melissa, and we've had Jenny. Okay. Jenny was cleared by her doctor to start working out literally at this time 4 weeks postpartum. So she started coming in. We started doing 30-minute sessions one-on-one. We built her back up over about 4 to 6 weeks, doing about twice a week plus homework. And she was back in the group sessions about 6 weeks in. Not everybody wants to go back to group. Some people like to just stay in one-on-one, but she wanted to go back into group. Chavi, she took a little bit longer. She was 8 weeks. She actually just had another one, so we'll see. She's about due to start coming back. She took about 8 weeks, and she was fine. She just jumped right back into group. She did do very, very low levels as she built her fitness back up, and that was fine. She did not have a C-section either. Melissa was a bit of a special case. She came back. If you guys saw her video, you can find it on our YouTube channel. There's a 5-minute video just about Melissa's story. She tells it better than I do, but she had some issues with her recovery. So we had to stay in one-on-one training a little bit longer for her to get her back up to snuff. She also had to work with a physical therapist on some pelvic floor stuff. So 3 examples, 3 different things going on, and that's going to be no different for anybody who wants the answer to this question. It's going to be individual. So for Katie, she had a C-section. So we're looking at least 2 more weeks before she can really start doing much. We do need to assess her abdominal and make sure that it is firing correctly, that there is no diastasis recti, which is when the abs pull apart. If she jumps in too hard right now and something is pulled apart, she could get hurt longer and keep herself out of training longer. So we want to approach this very, very slowly and carefully. And that's for any C-section or really any pregnancy at all. So what would I start with though? First, we're going to do some seated work, and back to the Freedom Trainer, since we were just talking about it, I would do some seated cable rowing, some seated pulling and pushing, seated rotational, very light rotational exercise, extremely light, seated anti-rotational exercise, extremely light. We're talking 1 plate on the cable machine here. And then lying hamstring curls, lying leg extensions, and then the 90-90 box